What's going on, guys? Okay, welcome to this VSL. So today I'm going to teach you guys what a brand story video is. So for some context, we run a video production company based in Burlington, and we predominantly sell brand story videos. I want to educate everybody on what a brand story could potentially be. Okay, so this is the what, right? This is the big overall overarching idea. However, it doesn't need to just be that. So basically, the brand story video can be customer focused through testimonials, product demonstrations. So think to yourself, do your customers really understand at a core of like what you actually do? And then maybe you have like 5 key customers will be your coach for your brand. So like these people will represent your brand in a really positive way. So another use case would be for recruitment. Okay, so think to yourself, you run a large trucking company, you run a large manufacturing company, lots of details, you need highly skilled individuals, highly motivated individuals. So why don't we do some recruitment campaigns? So what does it actually look like? So let's make some short videos, really targeting who your ideal hire would be. What is their life experience? What is their background? Do they have a family? Do they have young children? What is their work-life balance looking like right now? Like hiring somebody fresh out of school who maybe doesn't have a lot of commitments is a lot different than hiring somebody with, a family of 4, for example. Let's also talk about events and trade shows. So think to yourself, okay, are you a company that goes to a trade show every year, or you hold an event every year? So these can still fall technically under a brand story video because you can just make them event focused or trade show focused. So making a really tailored video that you could show at a trade show would be a great thing to have at your booth. So for example, we attended BizCon and we did a highlight reel of basically like all of this together into like what we actually do. So then I was able to be like, oh, look at this example that we did for this, look at this example that we did for this. And then that was a pretty easy way to bridge the gap from like somebody who doesn't really understand to somebody who now is more warm in the funnel. So events could be recaps, showcase. We could do some testimonials, trade shows, again, product demos. And then obviously we're doing social media. So now you can kind of see how from this one core idea right here, this can be branched off into so many different core items. So all of these things can be cut social content. They can all be cut into like smaller pieces that you can just reuse and reuse and reuse. So for example, maybe we did a recruitment campaign. So maybe we had like a $10,000 recruitment campaign. We could do like one main and then X amount of reels, right? Like it all really depends on like what the project budget is and then how much content you actually would like. Like let's say you want to trickle down for like Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4. So then maybe let's make 100 pieces of content that you can have over the year, maybe 25 per quarter, for example, or you could do 50 per quarter. Another thing that people don't necessarily think about all the time is this part of inter-organization cross-department training. So basically like you just hired a new person and they need to know this core piece of information or this core piece of tech. Make a bunch of videos on this. Like for example, Marriott does that really well. All of their brand guidelines, their brand expectations, how to serve people, how to attend to a guest, it's all in video format. And somebody had to decide at some point, this is what we're going to be doing. Videos are so much more than just like, oh, this is like a really cool showcase of my building or my establishment or my products. Like they could be super specific, hyper specific to your organization. And like, that's where we as a company do different stuff because we're just really focused on like, okay, what's the actual outcome of these videos? So let's talk about another idea. So we'll talk about a walkthrough video. So think to yourself, walkthrough videos. So construction, real estate, manufacturing, they potentially need a walkthrough of like what the actual facility has. Think about like a Kickstarter campaign as well. You just like basically are showing that like, hey, here's the standard of business that we're operating at. Here's the expectation of the quality on our job sites. Hey, maybe we have this really niche specific type of equipment that we have at this warehouse that no other manufacturing plant has. And then we can do channel intros, YouTubers, people on social media, influencers. Let's make a really clean, one-of-one polished version of their intro. So like who they are, what they do, why they serve. Again, coming back to social content. So you can do, a mix of organic and a mix of paid, meaning like we can do some UGC content as well as really polished video content. So then you just have that like, this is the person using the product, and then this is how we want to showcase this product. And then think about in your overall marketing plan as well, like your brand story video, the main one, like your CEO spotlight has a couple of these customer focused testimonials, has a couple of product demonstrations in it as well, some walkthrough in it as well, all tied together. That one could live right on your website, the first thing that clients see. Maybe these recruitment campaigns could be in your we are now hiring. This could live on when you click the little work for us button on your website. Inter department could be through your portal. Events and trade shows could be like in your newsletters that you send out to all your clients. Social content, obviously going to live on your social media pages. So yeah, I think in a nutshell, that is pretty much everything that we can include in a brand story. So that gives you a really high level of what actually a brand story could be and how we could potentially use this for so many different opportunities in your business. If you guys liked the video, if you're interested in talking about this more, let me know. I'll be happy to chat and send me a DM and we can just go from there. But we'll see you on the next one. Thank you for watching this VSL. Yeah.